when you hear the word trauma to think of abuse. And, that can be physical abuse, sexual abuse, spiritual abuse, these things like that. And it's true, I did experience abuse in my life. But trauma can be much more than that. Trauma can be abandonment, enmeshment, witnessing tragic things. So there are lots of things that are traumatic. I discuss them in the book. And what happens to children who are traumatized, and it can also happen to adults, but I think most often the formative years of our lives are when these things happen, is we adapt. And I think that's the kind of remarkable thing about us, is how adaptive we are. And those adaptations can often be very positive, but a lot of times they have negative, collateral, or maladaptive consequences in addition. And some of those adaptations that are negative are addictions. Some of them are other maladaptive behaviors like anger. Some of them include, things like codependency. So you can sort of look at people and realize that, hey, maybe that person who grew up in the home of alcoholics, even if it was an otherwise reasonably well-meaning home and it's not like they were getting hit with a belt buckle every night, but they weren't getting the type of attention that they needed. And their adaptation was to have an attachment disorder that wouldn't manifest itself really fully until they were a parent. So this type of analysis really, I think everybody needs to spend some time thinking about it and needs to spend some time asking themselves, hey, which of my behaviors are maladaptive? And it's something that's done, and I think it needs to be done without judgment. This isn't about saying I'm a bad person because of X, Y, and Z, even though I think I can objectively look back at my own behaviors at that time of my life and say, those are awful behaviors. I'm not proud of those behaviors. But it's separating the behavior from the self. It's not saying I'm a horrible human. It's saying I'm a human who did horrible things, and I want to understand why.